All right, it's Tuesday, May 6th. This is a pre-open video on the SPY today. We have a few minutes to go before the market opens. I've drawn in my the blue lines, the pre-market range here. We're obviously gapping down. So that, first of all, kind of goes against some of the expectations I may have had. We had a 2 down day yesterday that failed to hit this target, and that would have been an exciting opportunity to buy if things would have opened up above the midpoint of this bar yesterday and started higher. Instead, we're breaking down to the downside, at least at the open. Also, it's below the red line, which is the monthly chart here. So that can turn temporarily this monthly chart red. And if we stay below that red line, today and for the foreseeable future, we could be heading lower. Although I know there's a lot of support. If we really want to head down for the rest of the month, there's a lot of support somewhere in here. And it could be a trading range that's forming. But that's going to be a key reference point now, that if we stay below it, I'll, look at this hammer bar that did kind of test a little higher into this gap. But maybe now, for the rest of the month, we stay red. So I want to watch this red line very closely today. If things start lower and immediately bring in buying and get above this little pivot, then that could be a sign that it was just a quick temporary, gap down that brings in buying. Also, we're still only kind of at the halfway point of this green weekly bar. So, on this gap down. So this could be an area where things hold and eventually turn up and take out the high of that bar from last week, which I'm still expecting until proven otherwise. But if we're going to gap down and get red below this, have the first bar move below the pre-market lows, red, and continue, I could try a short trade here and kind of know the reference points at that point. We've kind of broadened out on this 2 down day yesterday, and then in compound fashion we're hitting this target right in here. So I want to see what happens. If we can't bounce from here and head up and take out this red bar high, which also aligns with the this little pivot here, then we might be heading lower on the week. But I also know it's going to take a while to get this weekly bar into a 2 down mode to really confirm any sustainable action. So I'm kind of biased a little bit still to the upside, but I don't, this price action here almost has to fail to the downside in some way to get me back up. And I kind of know this key reference point now. Number one, well, first of all, we're going to be below the midpoint of the prior day, it looks like, almost all day. So you almost want to see how this daily bar today closes to be, to really confirm that we might be getting a reversal back to the upside. But I also know today, I want to see it get above this red line if things are really going to improve, start to improve for the rest of the week. So that's kind of my context. I'm willing to go to the downside here and play it and just see if, maybe we get some kind of sharper reversal developing here. But I also know the context is still in play on the weekly chart to take out that weekly high until things fail. And, and here starts the open of the week. We're just kind of down here, at the midpoint of that prior week at the moment on this open. We're going to see how things unfold here. Also, it's possible, I guess, if we get some kind of green bar here to start, we take out the liquidity of the pre-market lows, and I sense we just kind of hit our target here on the daily chart. I still know my weekly chart has targets above. Maybe, on this 15-minute bar, I'll buy it here and see if we can kind of take out this pivot area as step one and hold there and then move back above, and keep things green both on the week and the month and everything else. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not really excited to go short if that unfolds, but I will do it, but be very nimble. And any failures to move lower, I might be aggressive on buying this. But I also know that it's going to take, we're way below the midpoint of yesterday, so I don't love that as a buy signal. However, as I look at the daily chart here, I know that we could be getting kind of a reversal kind of look. Let's see what that daily, well, I don't have that bar from yesterday for some reason at the moment, but I remember it was like a little green bar in here. So we're kind of hitting this target down here. Let's see if some kind of failure, can take place and head higher. You could be aggressive there. Your first target would be this little pivot and red line, and then you really want to see it hold there and continue up on some kind of strong reversal day. And then we really have to almost see how this daily bar is going to close before you can get excited for trades, because we're still way below the mid, kind of like yesterday, we're below the midpoint of the prior day. And that's going to be hard to get all the way back up to those highs, at least for today, but it could be a reversal area. So it's a tricky day in terms of, I'm not that excited to go short and I'm not that excited to go long given the context, but it's setting up for some interesting things with these key levels, in the days ahead. So let's see what happens, and I'll update something later in the morning.